I now invite Jayashree Sridhar to please make your presentation. Jayashree Sridhar is from the National Institute of Design, and she'll speak on curating Kupal, research and exploration exercise with found type from ancestral antiques. Jayashree, please come over.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Really excited to be speaking after Professor Vicky, and I think this would connect to that discourse as well. So, greetings to everybody. I'm Jayashree from NID Ahmedabad, and today I would like to share the story of how some scraps of rubbish and some serendipity came together to spark an exciting passion project. In some ways, the story begins here. The temple town of Tiruvannamalai is one of the most ancient heritage sites of India, home to the renowned Annamalayar temple, the Arunachala Hill, the Ramanashramam, and the Kartigai Deepam festival, as well as my grandparents' house, Guru Kripa. As kids, my cousin and I would meet there each summer, making the place come closest to the feeling of home. Though Tata and Pati, grandpa and grandma, now live with us in Bangalore, Tiruvannamalai still remains special. It was there that Tata had stored important documents amidst hordes of other stuff in his massive desk. In 2020, following an injury that brought him to our city to convalesce, Amma and Uncle took a one-day trip to the ancestral home, and suddenly I found myself sitting with them on the floor, surrounded by huge piles of torn scraps. As they shredded everything they deemed unimportant, grumpily wondering why their presently bedridden father had stacked junk like grocery lists from 1973, train tickets, and wedding invitations, I began to amass a pile of my own. Besides being a former history, psychology, sociology, and fine arts student, I was instantly swayed by the vivid colors, illustrations, and novel compositions I saw in them, thanks to my exposure to the design environment at college. As I gathered everything that caught my eye, the potential for scrapbooking and telling stories through the material relics of a lifetime became apparent. Why were these deemed kuppai in the first place? Important documents and papers, the meaningful stuff that Ma and Uncle were looking for, evidently rendered everything else meaningless. But someone's trash can be another's treasure. What does not contain inherent meaning can be made to mean something. Humans seek stories. We have an inherent need to hear them, find them, and tell them. Surrounded by countless pieces of paper with a stamp here, a handwritten acupuncture tip there, I marvel at the wealth of experiences that they recount. The footprints of my grandparents' lives, which I can ask them about, mining anecdotes they might have long forgotten about. My cousin El Srimati and I embarked on a long-term curatorial project documenting and analyzing these scraps to reconstruct narratives of our family's past through intuition and interpretation. Project Kuppai explores the emotional and discursive value of artifacts from the times that our grandparents accrued them in. Tata was born in 1940 and Pati in 1949. The scraps in our collection seem to be from between 1970 to 2020. They span the geography of cities in Tamil Nadu, besides tickets to other places in India and some documents connected to the United States of America. We realized along the way that there were many different ways of curating the scraps, similar to philately. For instance, grouping them according to the visual content of the material. Each of these scraps exhibits enormous potential to be studied in detail. So these are some of the graphics that we found among the scraps. So the second scrap here shows two musicians who are playing the nadaswaram, which is a long-necked wind instrument, and the tawil, which is a stick and drum percussion instrument. The interesting subtext here is that these are South Indian wedding instrumentalists, and the image shows them wearing turbans, which is an attire that is rarely seen in this part of the country as compared to North India. So, was the envelope from somewhere else? Does this indicate the percolation of a different visual culture, which then interestingly combines the motifs of the distinct Nadaswaram and the Tawil with that of the Pagdi? So, this instruction manual for a washing machine from the early 2000s is accompanied by the cartoon of an anthropomorphic washing machine with gloved hands and facial expressions, illustrating rather adorably what the text dictates. Kuppai also provides a great resource to study logos and their evolutions. Like this is the old logo of India Post. This is the new one. We have Apollo Pharmacy here. And this is the commemorative envelope for the 50th anniversary of the Human Rights Declaration in 1948. This collage shows bills and business cards of various shops, which often use the icon of a Hindu deity or sacred symbols. A more niche line of inquiry could explore the imagery of devis or goddesses, like Professor Mohanty pointed out. So, like the one on this camphor packet or in this Griha Pravesham invitation, this is the illustration of a trinity. I should also note that there was no disrespect or irreverence intended when these were shredded. This sort of imagery is all too ubiquitous to be able to save all the while. And finally, I have some lists. So this yellow one is a to-do list. This is a list in Tamil, which lists various Indian sweets like laddu, Mysore pak, padisha, appam. This one also lists food items, idli, mandare ilai, navadanyam. This is a rather elaborate list, which is the various ingredients to be purchased for a wedding feast. And this last one, which is quite interesting, it lists the various states of the United States of America and their capitals in Tata's handwriting. So, such compilations would help one trace the cultural patterns and curiosities of the past few decades, depending on one's interests. Some stories that emerge from Kuppai. This is a handwritten cash bill for half a kg of butter. When did that just cost 55 rupees? So we have a rubber stamped message which says cash received with thanks. And I tried placing the font for it, and the closest it comes to is Hobo Standard. When one is looking keenly, everything is a sign. This is a list in Tata's handwriting. Now, if we unfold it, it says Minvarya Arivippu, which is public notice from the electric board that the EB office address was about to change. Aside from its elegant composition, what interests me is the reddish stains around the middle. And our epiphany was that it was probably stained by kungumam, which is a red powder made with turmeric and slaked lime, used in many rituals and given out by priests in temples, applied by devotees on their forehead. It is also collected and then taken home for the family. Like in this case. What I love about this story is that it displays our tryst with frugality so beautifully. Project Kuppai stories are finding an increasing audience on the Instagram page. And I would like to say that any design process benefits from user testing and iteration. So our initial logo had the Annamalai hill and the word Kuppai plastered on it. And later we thought that this might be disrespectful because we had taken the icon of a beloved hill, a symbol of Lord Shiva, completely out of context. So this taught us that even with our heart in the right place, we must keep all perspectives in mind so as to avoid sending out unintended messages. Kuppai has also influenced some of my own typographic explorations, where elements and scribbles from the Kuppai interact with patterns and colors in my own explorations. So this was one of the first ones, which utilizes the letter E from this scrap, and then I play around with it. This is a card, a few more explorations. So this one plays with the interplay of print, handwriting, and icon against a background art. Here, the beautiful border graphic interacts with forms and colors. Now for some fun stuff. This was an interesting brochure we found among the scraps and pieced together. And the sheer number of fonts in this. So the sheer number of fonts in this would thrill any type enthusiast. Project Kuppai could be taken in a lot of different directions. And these were some of the collages that I made out of the letter forms that we found in the scraps. So I think that salvage scraps tell us about ourselves. And at a time when everything feels precarious and ephemeral, the prospect of reviving and rediscovering human stories gives us hope. We live on in ways we have not imagined possible. So I hope that this platform would help us co-create interesting conversations and lend further insights to our research. So yes, do join us as we continue curating Kuppai and exploring the type and trash. Thank you, Shukriya, Nandri.
Thank you, Jayashree, for that very nice presentation. Apologies, it wasn't, you weren't over by that much amount of time. You were kind of close to the amount, the given time. Yes, you are an Instagram generation that allows you to co-create, allows you to also archive in very interesting ways. And so the scrapbooking itself becomes, it's a kind of electronic scrapbooking with those with synergetic ideas also participating, right? So you are the opposite of the generations that had none of these. and where things just became heaps of material, and sometimes they were just lost. So we will hold your questions for until the session. And thank you, Jayashree, for that very nice presentation.